Linda A-Roraha is a lifelong experiencer, with her first UFO experience as a young child. She sensed from an early age that she belongs off planet, and she has carried with her a strong desire to go to the stars. Her big awakening began, however, when she received a message from a chi healer, which led her to discover her purpose here. She began CE-5 work after watching the documentary film Sirius, which has been preceded by some amazing, life-changing experiences. Listen to Linda as she tells her story about her life path to this point, and her most powerful star visitor encounters, including her inspirational trip to Antarctica. This interview is both inspiring and humbling. Linda shares her wisdom gleaned from her experiences, and she imparts some invaluable advice to those interested in pursuing a path in CE-5 fieldwork. Please sit back and enjoy this show, and remember to subscribe to our channel for updates on our latest recorded and live events. Thank you. Okay, so really what we wanted to do is get a better understanding of what got you into contact work. It's fascinating to hear people's stories. So, Linda, if you could just tell us a bit more about what got you into this.
Yeah, it's actually I have to go back to my childhood. When I was 1 year old, I sensed a lot of things which I do not know what they were. And at my third year, I was had the very strong feeling that where we lived, we could see the stars, and I was always talking to the stars, like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here. So, like many people have that feeling, you know, that something is different. It's I could not understand my place here. So I was kind of lonely in my feelings, and you could not talk to people about the feelings that you knew there was more, that not this life, but there was more out there. And when you're young, it's kind of odd that you talk about the feelings of life beyond Earth, and that was just a feeling. And so my journey led me to many ways to first find out more about myself. I did regressions, I did lots of other courses to find out more about the things I felt, because I could not I could not do nothing with it and only feel and experience a lot of things, and also knowing a lot of things. And for me, actually, it was pretty normal. And I in that time, I questioned myself also many times. I was also being kind of scientific about a lot of things. I wanted to have evidence-based about the feeling I had, and if I was not just imagining things in my life. So that guided me to when the internet, I found on the internet a lot about UFOs, about since YouTube came, you could find a lot of things about it. And then I met a chi healer because I had a car accident, and I saw on YouTube chi healing. And then I found a chi healer somewhere in Singapore, which is not next door. But I thought, well, maybe if the man ever comes, and then he could look at my back, because I had a back injury, and somebody was not paying attention. And so I had trouble with that. And then 3 weeks later, when I emailed him, he said, I'm passing through the Netherlands. So when I met the chi healer, he did not talk about my back, but he started to talk about ET to me. And he told me a lot of things about who I was, and it was really like, how does he know that? Why is he not working on my back right away? No, he said he was very blessed to meet me. That's what he said. So I was kind of, like flabbergasted in a way. But everything he told me, and he said everything is going to unfold in your life. And he never lied about that. And he gave me half an hour for my back. And he just did some things, and he did magical stuff. And my back injury disappeared in a way. So that was actually what I asked, but I got a package with it. So from that moment, I saw the movie Sirius, and then I saw Costa, and Costa was the first person I started to write. And then I said, oh, I'm not alone in this. There are more people like me, and so that's how it started for me. Meeting people with the same interests and same feelings was for me like an awakening, in a way that I started to understand more about my feelings I had through the years. And that started like an explosion, getting into CE-5 and into groups and starting groups, and nothing was important for me anymore like this. So that's how I rolled into this contact work.
You say you'd always known since a child about this kind of longing to go home to the stars, but prior to doing CE-5, had you had any UFO encounters or experiences?
Yeah, when I was, I think, watching the stars in the daytime, I experienced something when I was always looking outside the window when I had to go to bed. When you're young, you have to go early to bed. And it was just shimmering. And then I could see something flying from the left and stopping and made just like it came this and it went like that. So, and I said, well, that's normal for me, because we lived nearby an airport, a military airport. And I knew about airplanes, so I knew it wasn't an airplane. And actually it was like every day, when it was able to see the stars, it was like, maybe I already seen things. Also being aware of presence. Especially for when things got dangerous or there were stuff going on, I had always something internal or like a voice telling me not to do, or even stuff what I remember from childhood. It was always something was keeping me safe in a way. There was always presence.
So Star Family were reaching out to you long before you actually actively started engaging in contact work.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's cool. And it's that story continues, and now I know why and how and who they are and what they are coming to do, and so that's a whole other story. So it's like they're waking you up, and they did many things on every level, and they're waking you up, and they show every time it's like you reading a book, next chapter, and every chapter is something more closer to what is going on.
That leads us nicely into our next question, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is your overall motivation for doing CE-5? Where do you see it going for you?
Well, first, it's actually a feeling I can't resist, because I've experienced it actually my whole life. And secondly, I do not feel alone anymore in this journey. I can, if you would ask me 10 years ago, I would say, no, I don't know even how to talk about it. But now I can. And also meeting a lot of wonderful people around the world, because I go places, and now because of the COVID, it's not possible to travel for me and for many people. So I'm glad that I not only on Facebook, because I want to meet people physical, I want to experience with them who the person I'm talking to, and so that's for me. Also, to get a better human and to be good for Mother Earth, and that's what we are doing. We're working all together for something much better, and that's a kind of goal also. Lots of things are not important anymore, like how you're dressed or whatever. Just be human, be yourself, and accept. So that makes it all easier to connect with everyone, and also what I feel is that we have to get aware in so many ways that we have to settle inside ourselves, that we are nothing more than than the other. I always say when I meet someone and I say, what do you see if you look into my eyes? And then they say, yeah, I see you, now what do you see? And then finally they say, yeah. I say, you see yourself, because I'm like you, not color, nothing else. Nothing is, if you want to talk with ET, then there should be nothing like that, nothing like discrimination. So if we unwrap ourselves from all the conditionings, then I think that people, their purpose get clear. If I make myself a bit clear.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. If we all realized when we looked at each other that we were looking at the same consciousness, then the world would change, because people would start treating each other differently.
Yeah, and then we don't have that duality, not that, and that ego feeling. We should do more for each other, and I think this time would probably elevate it also much more, because you have to think about your freedom, because it has to do with also, now we realize what it is not to be free in a way, but where can you find your freedom in yourself?
Yeah.
And you can travel, you can, I have my garden, and that's my place, my holy place to connect, and so I can release a lot of things. And then I feel I'm totally committed to everything what's out there, and integrated into my life in so many ways. And I think also it's a path we all walk together, and each one in our own ways, but I hope we all walk together,
Certainly doing CE-5 is a lot more than just seeing lights in the sky. It's life-changing, isn't it?
It is.
It grows you as a person.
Yeah. It's really going into your core, everything what's alive in you.
I think a lot of people, certainly most people, I would say, probably when they hear about contact work, they come to it kind of from an ego perspective, that they want to see some ET craft, and as they go along, they then realize that it's actually about a spiritual journey, and that, like you said, that's what the ETs are here for. They're here to help us wake up. Not to put on a little show for us in the sky and entertain us.
No. I think, it's like in my work, I do work as a nurse. I'm independent, and I take care of patients with terminal illnesses. So in that moment, I'm becoming closer to their soul, closer to their being. And I listen to their stories, their feelings, their losses. Like my own loss, I lost my husband almost 3 years ago. And, what I experienced through so many years in my work, there's a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, a lot of missings, what people experience. And in their end of their lives, it's kind of heavy, because they have to let go. And I do things from, it's like being guided, I feel guided when I do that work, and I can touch in a way with my work, with my feelings, with my voice. I can touch them. And the thing is, what I want to do is to give them the love and the compassion so they can depart in peace, And I can feel their souls leaving their bodies. And that's a special feeling. And that's what I also feel, that our body here is just a vessel and a suit here on Earth that we have to let go. So all that energy, I feel, has a purpose, because you learn a lot, you experience a lot. And I'm not want to talk about wars and killing and those subjects, but I want to talk about the feeling of being here on Earth. And I feel that the ETs are guiding us in a way to be more aware of that part, in yourself, that there is something inside yourself, that it's just a temporary time you're here, and try to make it in peace, in loving. And also you can have a quarrel with somebody, that's not the point, but it should not be escalate, and it only hurt yourself. It only makes your life heavier. And I experienced this in my I think I was 18 that I started to work in the nursing business, and I felt like a little pooper, and I just felt like they're older people and I'm just a nothing, but they taught me so many things that I carry this in my life, and also integrated with this world with contact, that everything is integrated to just like inside yourself, that you can act better every day, do more your best to be a better version of yourself. And that's how I feel, working on these both ways, working with them and working here on Earth with my work and with myself and with friends and families and everyone with who I meet in my life, and there will be an end coming, and then we have to go again. So that's something I know too. That's what I feel, how that's gonna work when I go. So it's kind of some interesting subject.
Yeah. And even the ETs are growing and evolving as well. It's not like, they've reached some point where there's nothing for them to learn. I think we're all constantly learning, no matter how we are incarnated.
Yeah. I think there are so many realities. We don't even know if we are here, or what we are seeing, or what I see, if that's not me from the future, or from another dimension. Why can I see them? Why can somebody else don't see them? So how do they travel? How do they just appear that fast, that I hear something in my mind just in a fraction of a second, and then I know they're coming, and how I need to keep my camera just and interact with them. So it's a very bilateral meeting, and that's I think it's a gift every time, and interact this way.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about being guided, let's talk about Antarctica.
Yeah.
You know, you went there. Was it last year or the year before?
It was the year before the COVID started.
Oh yeah, because last year was COVID, wasn't it? So it would have been the year before. Yeah. So, what drew you to go to Antarctica? Was that a message from the ETs, or was there a specific purpose? Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, that was that. In September, lights started to appear above me, in my garden, above my house, and where I always sit. And I filmed that, and I was kind of like, wow, I never seen it. That's next chapter, I think. And I started to film them, and they were gone like that within an hour, just an hour. They were staying because it was pretty clouded, and a whole bunch of cloud came over, and the whole sky was closed. And then the cloud was gone, and the lights were gone too. And then one night before, I had to go to Belgium because I work abroad, and I just closed the doors, and I was going to bed, and then I get that hypnotic feeling again, and I don't know how that works, but I went back to the door, and I opened the door again, and I looked up, and the lights were there. So I said, "Oh, hold on, don't go. I just have to change again. I do my warm suit on, and then I'll be back." So it took me 10 minutes to come back, and then I was sitting, and the lights were still there. So I was sitting, and I was watching it for a time, and how it changed, and then suddenly I said, "Okay, well, let's do a test together, and that I'm still sane, because I want to know if that feeling is right, that you call me out." So, and at a certain moment, I said, "Well, dim your lights." And then right away you see whoop, lights off, just like that. And I said, "Oops, okay, well, okay, that's a coincidence. Okay." I'm always very humoristic when I'm alone, and I'm also laughing because sometimes they do some crazy things. And then I said, "Okay, let's do another test. Put your lights on." And then all the lights were brighter. And I said, "Yeah, okay, I got you. So, but it's getting cold, and I have to go to Belgium tomorrow, so let me know what I need to do." And they were still, I said, "Keep on hanging here, just whenever you want to go, you just go." And but I'm going to bed, and I waved to them, and I closed the door, and I went to bed, and started sleeping. And then the next day was, "You have to go to Antarctica." I said, "Okay, wow, well, yeah, why not? But how do I come on Antarctica?" So that's weird, because that was in September, and there was something coming my way, and everything was being arranged, and I think a trip like that would be 70,000 euros to go to Antarctica. So it was given, and from someone, it was given, so I could go to Antarctica. And my husband died in 2018, and I said to him, because he's doing a lot of things in house too, and I'm okay with everything because I'm used to it. With interaction, what kind of interaction they are, if they're other celestials, ETs, or energies, it's all okay with me. I'm used to these things. And so I said to him, when I landed in Buenos Aires in a hotel, I did a travel that day with a taxi, and see some things like Evita Pearl, just look at the city. And then when I came back, I just wanted to curl up in a lounge in a corner from the hotel, because the next day I had to go to Ushuaia. And so I was sitting there, and something said to me, just look forward. And then his name was written big on a wall, because his name is Ivo, and it was written Ivo on a big wall. And I said, oh, you're watching with me, you're coming with me. So that was for me a confirmation that I said to him, look through my eyes what I'm going to do, that you are traveling with me. Because he was so, in half a year, he got leukemia heavily without nothing. And the last thing he said, I wanted to go travel with you. So that's why I did a lot of travels to find myself, but also a sort of guidance. And that Antarctica was a guidance from them. And so when I came there, I had to do the rough passage from Cape Hope, the Drake Lake, which is one of the roughest seas, from Ushuaia. And that's really no joke, because I really got sick that way to Antarctica. And with some pills, I could manage. It was a very small explorer, because there are lots of also ships going that way with lots of people, but they're just very expensive too, of course. But it's not just like going to the Bahamas or something. And there was on the ship a lot of scientists and a lot of people who were doing just research and stuff. So I said, okay, this is my trip there, so I'm going to do solo CE-5 there, and I'm going to work with the radio from Jimmy, and see how I can work in a remote place without any interference from Wi-Fi or telephones or whatever. So the only thing I had was a Garmin, and that's a telephone you can use through satellite. That's the only thing you can use it everywhere around the world. That's kind of when something happens. And so when I was there, I experienced a lot of emotions. Emotions like what happened there, with a lot of whale killings, ruins you have there from the oil industry, whale oil. They're all protected now, and but it's a very sad view to see what happened there, how people had to live there, and how many people stayed on Antarctica for science or just to find out what's happening with the ice or other things which are unknown to me, because a lot of things you don't understand what's happening there, because there are a lot of bases around. And what happened when I did CE-5 solo on the ice, I had to cry, because it makes you feel very humble to be there, because nature is rough, very dangerous. But it made me feel more, like I said, with all the integrations of the feelings, it made me even just opening up like that, because it's just like you're being cut, like everything has to come out. You're here to, not to heal, but you're here to understand. Okay. It's a holy place, it's Antarctica is so rough. The nature is so rough, but so balanced that we as humans, that they are talking about the sources like coal or so many things you can, you can get from Antarctica, maybe oil or whatever, just stay away from that. And because it's the only pure place on Earth, what I feel, that it should be sacred. And I know that ETs don't want you to start building, like a tourist attraction or something like that. You have to leave it the way it is in that state, and that's the humbleness you feel when you're there. And if you ask me what did you see, there are lights. There are lights. There are flying things. They are. And you saw that blue, what you see now behind me. That was 2014. That was hanging above me. And that was also hanging above me there.
Wow.
Yeah. So the message is also that I have to go back, but to some other place, because Antarctica is actually fighting you away to enter deeper, because it's the nature changes in a fraction. So it could be sunny, but it could get very rough, or the ice will push you out.
Yeah.
It's not just like ice; it's deep. And what I've seen is a piece of ice what broke from Antarctica, and it was about 25 kilometers.
Wow.
You see it above the water. It's huge, but you don't see what's down underneath.
Yeah.
So it's something we are, we don't have to get so excited to use that land or something. We have to. Some people say, the ice is melting. No, something is growing further on with ice. And I think there's a lot to say about Antarctica, lots about the pyramids. There are lots about pyramid statue where you can see in the white, it's pyramid shaped. There's a lot. But I've been pretty far into it, but not that far. I want to be 90 degrees, but that's going to be something like 100,000 euros to go from Chile and stay there for the day or sleep there for the night on the ice.
Wow.
Or you have to go through New Zealand, Australia, and go to the other side, because it's enormous. But it attracts me to come back. So whenever it's going to happen, then I would love to go back, because it made me actually whole inside of me, and it made me more sensitive, even more sensitive than I'm already experiencing. So that
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very profound.
Yeah. It's really a lot of history, and also painful history, and actually it's the most beautiful treasure we have on Earth, if we think about Earth.
Yeah, unspoiled.
Yeah. Really, I get the sense that it was quite a raw experience. You were directly in contact with nature and planet Earth, and really laid bare when you went there. Yeah. Just going back a bit, when you went there, what did you do? What kind of, did you have a protocol? Did you meditate? Did you, I think you said you used a radio, so did you send anything out on the radio? Tell us a bit about what you did.
Yeah, through thoughts I did, like I always do. The radio is inducing something, you can use it to check, a tri-field meter, can measure when the magnetic field changes, like I used in Norway a lot, and how that works. But with radio is something new. I did it with a small group. We still do it with a small group with Jimmy, and just trying from many places on Earth where you can also send and transmit the crop circle tones, but you can transmit it with the radio too. But I did it with thought and like Morse, and right away it responded back. So that was for me to measure without any interference. You don't have on Antarctica because there's nothing. There's no T-Mobile or something, or TV stations, nothing. So it's very remote. So then you have a very raw version of the radio, how it interacts on your thought, and right away it interacts. So I made a few little films because I was not all the time filming, because I was more being, working with the things I felt and working with, I hope I'm the first one who did CE-5 on Antarctica. Yes, I am.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So that was for me just like the Holy Grail, just be there and just in a place where there's nothing, just nature, and just be nature yourself. And then you feel like they respond, like lights in the sky. I had made a picture, and I really do not know where I took that picture randomly, but there's stuff on it, and I don't know if I seen it, but the picture, well, you know how that works with ET, they can change everything, but there's something, 2 light spots and something above there, which is more like a structure. So, and also that was like, that's good, because I know it's for me confirmation, being there and that they do something. But I also could see fly very fast.
Yeah, that was the next question about the kinds of contact experiences you had while you were in Antarctica. Was there anything that stood out for you? Anything that was, let's say, different to the kind of normal CE-5 experiences that we have?
Every CE-5 experience for me is actually is not normal, but that's everything. Everything is like next chapter. Next chapter. Okay, then we can do this. Then we show that, and that was for me like confirmation with the lights. You see that color, and they can do so many things. They look, they're just know that you're there. And they just do things with you. It's like my camera. I have a camera, and that was, I was using that. I could not see anything through it, but somewhere in Norway, they changed my camera so that my camera could see what I'm filming now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
It's like I have a Lunar Optics camera. There goes 2 batteries in it. Well, if you have a transistor radio with 2 batteries and you pick one battery out, and the radio is on, what happens? The radio stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. The camera was still running without batteries.
Okay, now that's odd.
They changed my lens. My lens froze, and I said, "Oh no, my camera is broke." Oh, and then it still works. Why? What? It doesn't work anymore. Like that. But no, they were changing it for me. So the moment I came home and Ivo told me, I told him that my camera was wasted. Then that was when I came from Norway. Then he said to me, "Put some new batteries in." I said, "I already did." And then I did it, and I put the new batteries in it. My camera worked perfectly. And I went outside, and right away something came up and gone. I said, "Wow, my camera! I can see things." So they do things. They do things also when they paralyze you. What they did with me in the daytime and do all kind of stuff with me. they open your everything, your inner vision, and then they come visit you. Yeah, like that. And the picture you saw, that other picture you saw with me, with the, you know, the like there's light coming out of my eyes. That happened here in my house. You know, it's like opening other portals or dimensions and things happening. Like I have a lot about that. So. For Antarctica was also next chapter. I had to go to Antarctica and there was things happening. So they probably changed also something inside of me that I'm more aware of more things. And the thing is, they always say, I want you alone. That happened to me so many times. They want me alone. So they can work with me, and so many people want to be with me, what I understand. So I invite a lot of people here to do CE-5, but there's something else. It's like you're not, you're totally 1,000% there. You know, if there are other people there and there's noise.
Yeah, it's like removing distractions. Yeah.
So when there's interaction in that way, then it's always alone. Like in Norway too, they called me out of my bed in the middle of the night, and I had to go all the way up without telephone. Nothing worked there, and then they started to work on my tri-foot meter. Or I had a new tri-foot meter. Well, and so it goes on. It's like next chapter. Okay, you did that. Next chapter, and everything you come closer to the truth, and you come closer to who you are. Like the chi healer said, and all these things. So I'm actually like, I know a lot already. So I have many stories what comes to that point where I'm now, and they give me everything proof like that, and not just like that, but there's always somebody, a witness with it, who says, yeah, that's true. Yeah? If I don't have any footage or something from it, but I have a lot, so I already know sometimes that somebody has to film or do things. So
cool.
Yeah. And moving on to something else that we understand you did. You've been quite adventurous, haven't you, with your contact work? You did the bridging protocol with somebody on the other side of the planet, is that right?
Yeah, I did. I with my camera, I had contact with Jimmy, and everybody wanted to know what kind of camera I had, because then I can film what you're filming. You know, of course. It was a Luna Optics, the day and night vision, and I have the version from 2013, and it's still my best camera because it's. All the newer models, I bought a lot of newer models because they said, there's a flagship, there's the best camera now coming. Well, you can just throw it into the garbage because you cannot film with it, because it takes like the stars, like stripes when you film it. It doesn't. It's steady filming, and so Jimmy found a second-hand same camera. So I said to him, I want to do an experiment. And like the chi healer told me about bridging, and that what my purpose was with bridging. So I said, well, maybe we can do something, because it was about the twin ships. Jimmy said, well, I never seen the twin ships. Well, okay, I can send you the twin ships. You know, let's do that experiment. So let's make the bridge. Let's make a beautiful, safe bridge. And I want to know where you live exactly from your place, remote view, and my place with my address, everything. And then bridge together on that beautiful bridge. And then visualize that we're walking towards each other. And make that intent that through thought I will bridge the twin ships to your place. So we did that, experiment, and he is the same camera, so that would be much easier to see what I see. So then you have the same footage. And so that experiment, we started some moments, and then suddenly he told me, Linda, I see the twin ships. I can film them. And he started to film the twin ships. And then I said, yeah, hey, hello, Jimmy. Can you send them back also? Because I'm not going to see them anymore at the moment. So can you send them back? So, so we started to work on that. And then suddenly I could see them again after a month or two, because he was filming them all the time. And I said, wait, hello.
Come back.
I want some footage too.
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how we did the bridge experiment. But that was also, that thought is so powerful that if your intent is there and you are working with with good remote viewing and stuff, you just experiment with it and see what happens. But commit yourself to it fully. And then, if you say, no, I have to go to the disco or I have to go to a birthday, well, you're not going to see them because you're not aligned with that moment. And, it should be like, nothing has to come between that. You have to commit every time, just like a yogi, you just not do one day yogi. Being a yogi, you do that all the time. So you have to commit yourself.
That makes lots of sense.
Yeah, it does.
So it's with remote viewing that you did this bridging protocol. You visualised a bridge.
Yeah.
If I understand the protocol, you visualise the bridge, don't you?
Yeah, you go to the middle.
Yes.
You go in your intent, you go up. It's a light beam, and then you ask on a very humble way that they will appear on the other side. So you send them through the bridge like a tunnel, like, okay, appear that. So maybe it's working with realities, I don't know, with how you learn more that things are, how do you say that? Things can happen if you really want it, if you really
the power of intention.
Power of intention. Yeah. And it really works. It's with everything. So probably we are figuring out more about healing stuff, more about that we can do much more than we ever could imagine. In this way.
We picked up on something about the bridging technique as well, that because you are because it comes from a place of no ego, because you want the other person to have the experience.
Yeah.
That it kind of it's more likely to come about because it's not a self-centered kind of experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're both asking for the other person to get the contact experience. So they're kind of more receptive to responding because it's service to others.
Yeah, that's what I do here when people come. From here, from the Netherlands, it's always men, lots of men, always. So people would think, what is she doing with all that men in her house? But that's what I'm trying to teach them. I'm trying to be with them. I'm trying to give them that feeling from my garden and things happening. I have 2 colleagues, female colleagues. We went to Turkey, and one of my colleagues, she was so sad because she had a dispute with her family, with relatives, and it's kind of, not so nice how things are developing there. So she said, Linda, I lost my family. And I said, oh, you want a new family? And she said, well, how? Well, let's lay down. Let's go watch the sky, So we did that. And really, they performed so beautiful. She cried. She said, within 15 minutes, I was forgotten all my sorrow, all my pain. And I felt that so much love, so much energy came. Just one of, also a nurse. And she's still, till this day, and it's 2 years ago, she's still like, when are we going to do CE-5? When are we going? I talked with them and I saw them and they blinked and stuff like that. And there was another colleague also, and she had a knee problem. She was operated in her knee and she was swallowing a lot of painkillers. And when we went walking in the streets of Turkey, the stoops there are very high. So when you have to go to the next street, then you really have to work with your knees. And we were walking, and I said to her, well, we have to do something about that. And then she said, yeah, let's ask for healing for her knee. So we sit there till 4:30 in the morning, talking to the ETs, and the next day she was gone. She was somewhere in a bar and drinking and talking to her friends because she came there for 25 years. And then we walked to a nail room, or for your pedicure. And she was walking just like that, And then I said, hey, how is your knee? And she said, what? What's with my knee? She said, I don't feel my knee anymore. Till this day, she doesn't swallow painkillers anymore. The doctor doesn't know how the pain went. He said, well, maybe you're lucky now. She has no pain anymore. It's gone. And still,
wow.
It's gone. Yeah.
That's cool. This is probably a difficult one, but what would you say would be your most memorable or profound contact experiences that you've had? The ones that when people ask you about CE-5, the story that you always go to and tell people.
And the V shape was shown in the movie from Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Contact has begun. Then you see first the object moving and stopping and stuff like that. And there's another one. There's a V shape. So I want to talk about that because there was a change of producers in the movie, and my voice was in the movie talking about actually the light above my house, not about that. So I want to put that straight because that is really CE-5. What happened when I came back from Norway, and when I talked about the camera, that it was malfunctioning and everything, without the batteries, it was still working, and it started to work when I came home. So I said, okay, maybe I can ask them to come with 3. So I was filming, and then 3 objects came. So I had to go to work because I had night shift, and the next day when I woke up and I told my cousin, I said, well, that happened, so I'm going to ask them to come with 5 and do the V shape and do an octahedron and do other shapes and forms tonight. And then she says, yeah, keep on dreaming. Lovely story. You're just awake, so whatever, So it was 8 o'clock in the evening that same day. I had to go to work at 10, and Ivo had to go somewhere for a meeting, and I said to him, I'm going outside. I asked for to come with 5. I asked for V shape, asked for octahedron, asked for everything like that. And then he says, it's okay, Linda. Be careful that you're not getting beamed up or something, but okay. I see you tomorrow. And now comes. I go in the garden, put my chair there, and it was around 8:40. And I was sitting like that and watching, and then something was like, bang, like I was in a hypnotic state. There was like somebody was next to me, behind me, like a mother with her child, like holding that feeling, and lift up your camera, don't move anymore, and press record. And I did that, press record. And they flew in with 5. They did a V shape. They did the 3D octahedron. They did other forms, and they flew right that way.
Wow, and that footage is in the film, isn't it?
Yeah, and you see it actually much better on the end when there's the extra footage part. When the film is over, then there's an extra part where you can see. And that footage, that was really something I asked the afternoon, and it happened in the evening. So important for that footage I saved for so long. I wasn't going to share anything because it was a very personal thing.
Yeah,
with them and me. And I don't want to be that footage is like consuming something like that. And also if people say you can ask money for it, then I said, well, just go a door further, because my life is not about money. My life is about experience to be who I am today.
Yeah.
And that footage I had to give away because it was asked by Steven. There were 3 things I showed, and that part was so dear. It's so dear to everything is dear to me, but that was so like, you know, you cannot imagine how fast that goes and what they do, what they can do. And that's why it was for me so important to know that if people would see that it would break something open inside of them to experience so many beautiful things, and, you know, let go of all the other things. Then it opens up more about who you are, your heart. And it would just fly into your heart like a V shape, like, you know, just change you. And
good to have some context behind that footage, because I know there's a lot of very good ET footage in the documentary, but none of it is really explained. There is no kind of backstory to the clips. It's just they're kind of strung together for the wow factor, really. I suppose people go, oh my god, okay, this is amazing, but something like the V-shape clip that you recorded, which stood out for us. It's like, you know, it's one you show people when you're trying to get them to watch the film. You're like, look, here's some footage. But to have the backstory to that is really, really good, because it helps. You know, we can tell people now where the footage has come from and what it is. So
that's the purpose of everything.
Yeah.
So it's not mine. It's given.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I say. It's given with their love to me. They come from, I don't know where they come from, you know, and they do everything in their power to commit to you, to, you know, if you ask. And this is not just randomly seeing something flying or a silver disc or whatever. This is pure coming for you.
Yeah.
And on your request.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful experience to have that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think showing people this footage is kind of showing that, you know, reality is not quite as it seems. And as you say, it does open people's minds, doesn't it, to new possibilities. It's has so many implications on someone's life, such a positive impact.
Yeah. That's what you want to, you know, when I'm not here anymore, I hope so many people will, you know, continue and maybe even more or better, or this whole world is changed for a better world. And that was also my plea when I was on Antarctica, when I spoke with the radio, for what was I asking for. You know, for a better world, a world with peace, and you know, I'm just doing a lot of dangerous stuff there, because I climbed very dangerous parts, which could be like sinkholes, you know, and just for the benefit, for showing that you can do so many things beyond your imagination and your strength. Even if you are sitting with loss, but also with a lot of other things that you want to accomplish in your quest, in your journey. And this is a journey, if I go back to where I was before, everybody goes on a holiday to go to the beach or, whatever. All my holidays since 2013 is just committed to CE-5, wherever I go. And there's still a lot where I want to explore also, like Peru, Eastern Island, Antarctica, so many places where I can, maybe go work with crystals and leave crystals there and, whatever, whatever you can give back to Earth or do something to heal or, everything you do, you're healing somebody else. And, it comes back to you in so many other gifts, like change, like what it's doing to your heart. You feel more alive. You live more in the now. You get total different realizations. And I want to share that. It's you don't get wisdom by just reading books, but sometimes you have to go through a lot of stuff to experience kind of your own wisdom and what it's bringing to you.
Yeah, reading books gives you knowledge, but experience gives you wisdom.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just to go back to Antarctica, actually, we didn't put these in the questions. I'm just curious, where did you stay? What did you sleep in? Did you just take a tent?
A boat.
A boat?
On a boat, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there's no hotel there. You cannot just...
No,
nothing. It's just you have your own room, and I had the privilege to have a very room with outside, so I could sit outside and work with the radio, work with doing CE-5. It's 24/7. Everything I do in my life, it's working, and this I go to bed with it. It's like it's a part of you, so it's not ever leaving you anymore. And that's where I do my CE-5 on a boat. Every feeling I got, integrating my view and experience what I'm seeing and fully absorb what it's telling me. And so I slept on the boat, and every time you go further into Antarctica, and every time you go off, and then you just go on the waters, going through the ice, so even very dangerous because you got leopard seals. And I was talking with the leopard seal. I thought it was like a kitty cat, but this thing is huge. It's very huge, bigger than us. And the scientist said to me, he said, Linda, well, they're never coming close like that and hanging around the boat. But I was kind of talking with it from, how do you do? Nice meeting you. You're so beautiful. And then he came all the time to the boat and looking at me and coming to me. And then he came on side with the boat, and then he opened his mouth. So it was like Dracula, just so many teeth. And I said, you're looking beautiful, but you just go your way. I will not disturb you anymore. I'm so sorry, but I love to see you. And then he just he was there for more than 15 minutes, which is not, because they're very solistic. They don't interact with humans, and they eat penguins, But what they can do, they can jump on your little boat and pull you out.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So, in times before, because these things, they're and whales just as close as I'm talking to you. Just huge, enormous, beautiful.
Wow.
Enormous animals, beautiful animals. And it's like coming into their world and being a guest and acting like a guest and being very humble for everything you see. And that's what we need. We need to be humble, even for the ETs when they come. Just be as humble as you can, because they're so like the animals. They can live there. They can provide for food. They can live there. They can do everything. And these ETs, they're so high technology. They can do everything beyond your comprehension, and they can come here and then show you something. So I'm always very, grateful, humble, and don't imagine myself that I'm better than the rest, because I'm not. And that makes you feel like everything is a gift, what you get. And you take that with you in your little box, your gift box, and keep it safe and sometimes look at it. And that's what I do when I think about Antarctica. And I take my little box and my stones I took with me. And yeah, that's something, memories. And I gave stones to people also, because those stones are so old. We don't even know how old they are. They're coming from inner Earth, and you just find stuff there like meteorites. I have a little one, and I can keep them all to myself, but I gave a lot away to people, and so they can have the feeling of, when they do the meditation, they have the feeling of Antarctica. Hopefully they have also the feeling I have, so I can bring it over through the stone and that feeling I experienced.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah. I want to cuddle a sea lion now.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'd go as far as cuddling, but I'd definitely have a chat with one. Yeah.
Yeah, you do hear about this. If you approach animals with authenticity and an open heart, then they do respond.
Yeah.
I know they're still wild animals, and obviously, caution is advised, but they will respond to a kind of respectful acknowledgement of them.
Yeah, without that fear, but just that openness.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know.
You're very brave. And,
yeah, well, I did a lot of things, dangerous things, so I'm not going into that. But
I remember when you were posting on Facebook about going to Antarctica, I was thinking she's either very brave or crazy.
Well, I'm just listening to what they tell me to do.
Because we are very evangelical about CE-5, and you don't miss an opportunity to tell people. But when you were on the boat in Antarctica, I'm assuming there were other scientists and stuff on the boat with you doing their own thing. Did you get the opportunity to kind of explain to anyone else why you were there and what you were doing, and did you kind of wake anybody up while you were out there?
No, well, they're pretty wake up.
Oh, they are pretty awake.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just so awake with the same feeling what I experienced, like Mother Earth. Their reality with the real world is totally different. They cry when they're home. They miss Antarctica, and some of them say, like the female who are also doing the job there, they say, when I'm ironing, just Linda, when you're back home and you're doing your iron work or you're making your coffee or whatever, you can suddenly be back in Antarctica. And then you cry.
Okay.
So they experience everything you do when you go to Antarctica. Everything you wear should be new. Everything is being looked at. There's nothing on it what can kill the biosphere. So you don't take anything with you to disrupt anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say awake, they are pretty awake. Yeah.
So if you tell them that you're making contact with extraterrestrials, people aren't surprised, or they're open to it.
it was probably, I was there for 14 days. So it was probably, they saw me with the radios, but they were not asking because it's not their,
not their business, I suppose.
business.
What would be your advice to anyone who's interested or starting out with CE-5?
Well, first, and that's also, you probably know with experience that you have those people who come for one time to think, oh, that's CE-5, I can do that, but that's not it. I want to do UFO or a landing or doing hula hoops in the sky. Well, then you should go to the carnival because it's not going to happen. And the work lays in the commitment. That's what I already said. And going all the way. And it means, like what I did many times, laying in the garden for 2 years, even with ice on my cap in the cold, and staying there till 5 o'clock in the morning till I see one light coming after a year and a half. And that was the gift. And just don't quit and do your research, do your work, read about it, ask about it, but do it with your heart and be sincere about it. And use the CE-5 protocols. They're there. You can read about it and making contact. There's a lot of stuff you can find on Facebook. There are a lot of groups. And I think that's the most important thing is it's not a circus, but commitment in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's what we tell people: sincerity and commitment.
Yeah.
So would you recommend any particular books or websites for people?
Well, I would. Yeah. Well, the most famous website is from Dr. Greer. You can find everything, the tools, everything about CE-5, protocols, how to wear, how to dress, what you can use for device, how you can start a group. There are a lot of CE-5 groups. I have the CE-5 group, Universal Global Mission, and that group I'm just facilitate. I'm want people to meet, and that's already for so many years that so many people come and ask me where can I find people. So I do everything so they can connect to somebody there where they live.
Good.
So that's what I do behind the scenes a lot. Or a lot of people come ask me that they're with fears and stuff like that. So I'm trying to. Sometimes it takes half a year and guide them to what I feel. I said I'm not. I'm just doing it from my experience and my intention, and hopefully try and see what happens. So I come back and become friends. You meet so many people behind the scenes, and you direct them to that person. Can you help them further? Even in Spain, even in Portugal, wherever they are, they just seem to know my name or something, and then they try to reach out, and I reach out to them, and their questions being answered. Then you have to work towards that by working their meetings, even the meetings what you have with the ETs can be also physical. So what I experienced, it was also physical. So it's like every chapter, you learn in the first chapter this and that, and then you have to be patient. So don't rush it, because take your time. And don't expect so much, and don't demand also too much. Because if you do, then you get frustrated. You actually have to open yourself with everything you got and be as open without any hidden agendas, nothing. Just open up. Just be honest to yourself.
Wow, thank you, Linda.
Yeah, really enjoyed this interview today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.